Welcome, Tony Meredith from Tony Meredith Coaching. I'm so pleased you could take the time to talk to us and all of our Facebook friends today.
Well, Tameka, thank you for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to adding value and sharing to the community. So what a real thrill.
So tell us a little bit about Tony Meredith. Where did he come from?
Well, he came from my mum and dad, but where he came from is I've got a corporate background. I spent a lot of my time working for some of the world's largest multinational companies, both in pharmaceuticals and fast-moving consumer goods. And in 2015, I was starting to have second thoughts around what it is that I wanted to do with my life. I was not feeling fulfilled anymore. I spent most of my life in an aeroplane in a hotel suite and thought, well, something's got to give. I then started down the path of a different business, which is property development, and I still do that today. But along the journey of property development, I learned that I like property development, but I don't love it. But what I love to be able to do is to help people. And so as a manager of people, working for the businesses that I mentioned earlier, I had this epiphany one day and I said, well, perhaps I'm meant to be a coach. And I started off wanting to be a life coach to everyone in the whole world, so quite a narrow niche. And then realized that I had all of this business experience, and why not incorporate my love of wanting to serve other people with also my business experience. And hence in 2017, May of 2017, Tony Meredith Coaching was born. And that was really, a situation of my name, what I do, coaching, that'll do. And, let's just take plenty of action. So that's where it came from. And then from there, I've built it into, what it is today. I deal with a variety of different business clients, both in the small business space, but also in the property space as well. And regardless of which side of business people come from, it's ultimately about how do I get people to take action towards achieving their goals.
So what are your three key points or your three best tips for any business around taking action?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, taking action is one of them, but I'll leave that to last. The first one is around get clear on what you want. The number of business owners that I speak to are really grey and fuzzy and, I want more sales, but, if you got $1 more, then is that really what you want? The answer, of course, is no. But it's about get clear on what you want and get clear on the specific sales number, but not just the top line sales number. Get clear on the timing, get clear on what I call sales drivers. So sales drivers are the things that sit beneath the sales number. And so you might have a target to have a business of $200,000, for example, but what are the things that are within your control that can help you get to that $200,000? So it's about starting with the end in mind, getting clear on what it is that you want, and then working your way backwards to where you are today. And you set a whole range of milestones for yourself. And so it's about creating the things that are within your control. So it might be that you're doing, X number of sales calls. It might be that you're doing X number of, Facebook ads or webinars or whatever it might be. There's a whole range of things that you can be doing to help then take you towards where you want to get to. So it's about start with the end in mind and then work backwards, but ultimately get so clear with what you want.
Yeah, clarity is really important, isn't it? What does more actually mean? What does more look like?
Who knows? Please, if someone knows the answer to that, please, let me know. And that's the issue. The issue is that people say, I want more sales. And it's like, well, I get that. But if you had a dollar more, like technically you got more, but I know that's not what your intention was. And so it's about, putting some real specificity behind it, getting the dollar value, getting the timing, so the SMART objective is the methodology that I use, the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time, that I run the goals through that methodology. And then that starts with a top line goal, but then beneath that, it's the plan to go from, work backwards from the goal. So you plan backwards, you plan in reverse. So you start with end in mind and you work backwards, and then obviously you take action in a forward direction. And for me, it's about creating the gap between where you want to get to and where you are today. And GAP for me also doubles as an acronym, which stands for Goal Achievement Plan. It's about achieving goals. Like anyone can set a goal, right? Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, set away. But ultimately, success is about achieving the goal. So let's develop a plan that closes the gap, which is that goal achievement plan.
Yeah, because without that clear strategic plan, it's just a dream, right? It's just,
And it happens all the time. And it's the old adage of, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so you need to have a plan. You need to have a blueprint, a roadmap, call it what you will, but you need to have something that joins the dots, joins between the end in mind and then where you are today. And the end in mind is a variable date. It could be, I've got some clients who find it really comfortable to set a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal. And I've got other clients who really struggle and can only set a goal 1 month into the future. And that's fine. Whatever your end is, that's okay. And then it's about constantly building on that. But you've got to have something that's, down the road that you're working towards, that you're aiming towards.
So you facilitate lots of workshops and programs. Have you got anything coming up in the future that we can tap into?
Yeah, so we're about to release a sales training program, and I want people to get the basics, to help them sell more. And that leads me into point number 2, which is that you can't sell a secret, right? And so point number 2 is that you've got to be able to let people know about who you are, what you do, and I call it attention. And some people really struggle with that concept, but you've got to draw attention to either yourself. If you're someone like me, a business coach who happens to have your name in the name of your business, then yes, there's a lot of attention that I draw to myself. But also, if it's, regardless, it could be Bramwell Partners, whatever it might be, you've got to be able to create attention. Attention happens in many forms. It could be doing these sorts of things where you're doing interviews, you're doing Facebook Lives or Facebook posts, social media, websites, networking, referrals, whatever it might be. There's a whole range of ways that you can draw attention to yourself, but you have to. Otherwise, no one knows what it is that you're trying to sell, regardless of the goods or products. And I come across plenty of people who have amazing products or amazing services, but no one knows about them. And so it's about how do we get plenty of attention for you. And point number 3 is around taking action. There's a gap between knowing and action. And Bob Proctor, who's one of the many people that I follow, talks about the knowing doing gap. And it's about, you may know what you've got to do, but you're not doing it. And so for me, the 3 key principles of my business are based off sales, leadership, and mindset. And this is really the last one, which is mindset. And it's about being able to get out of your own way. You know what you got to do. And maybe if you don't, that's cool. But in the main, a lot of people know what they should be doing, but they're not doing it. Ultimately, they're not doing it because there's a fear related in there somewhere. And it could be a fear of a variety of things. To me, the biggest fear that people have is the fear of being criticized by the people. And a lot of cases, you don't even realize that you've got that fear. It sits in your subconscious and it just lurks around unbeknownst to you. And it might, pop up in the form of procrastination or a whole range of other things, but you're not doing the things that you know you should be doing. So that's my 3rd bit of advice, is around taking action. So then linking back to what you said around courses and webinars and whatnot. I've got a program coming out which will be on helping people take action. And you can also find me in a whole variety of different places. I'm all over Facebook. I'm constantly doing things on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I've got the website, which we're in the process of revamping, tonymeredithcoaching.com.au. My social media handles are Tony Meredith Coaching. Just Google up Tony Meredith Coaching. I'm sure there'll be some video or some quote or something that'll pop up with me in it.
So there you go, people. You know that if you're looking for Tony Meredith, all you need to do is Google Tony Meredith Coaching, and he's going to come up, and there's a number of different platforms that you can use to actually connect with him. I highly recommend you reaching out to him. He's got a wealth of information and probably more life experiences that are actually really relevant and appropriate to really help you all. So thanks very much, Tony, for taking the time to have the interview. If people would like to come along to BNI Oasis and get a personal introduction to Tony Meredith and our core networking referral group, please just send us a message through Facebook and we'll send you an invite.
Absolutely. And if I could just finish on that I've been now in the BNI Oasis chapter for 11 months and I thoroughly love it. And it's a commitment. Like, you've got to commit each and every week, but you get out of things what you put into them. So if someone's sitting there at home, they're sitting on the fence, will I join, won't I join, etc., I'd at least encourage you to come along the first couple of times for free. And we're doing it in a different environment at the moment. It's all done via Zoom, given what's going on in the world. So it's very easy to get along. But I'd strongly urge anyone to come along and to try us out, test us out, see what we're all about. There's 30 odd, business people in there, all sorts of different businesses, all very like-minded, all wanting to help each other grow, move each other's businesses forward. And it truly is a wonderful collaborative environment. So I would strongly urge anyone at home to come along, be an Oasis. We meet on a Tuesday morning, and we'd love to have you come and say good day.
We certainly would. Thanks very much, Tony.
Thanks, Tameka.
Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at BNI Oasis.
You sure will. Thanks, Tameka. Really appreciate it.